Hi crafty friends, today I'm bringing you a frame that I made. I've seen these shadow box frames on the internet and I'd only ever seen the square ones, so I set about to make a rectangular one. So here is the frame that I've made, and there's the side, and I've just added a little stand on the back so that I can stand my frame up, but it will also fold flat if I wanted to mail it. And these flowers are the beautiful succulents that are in the New Occasions catalogue, as well as the coordinating DSP. So let's get started. So to make the frame base, I've started with a 12 by 12 sheet of craft cardstock, and I've cut that down to 12 inches by 10 inches, which is 25.5 centimeters by 30.5 centimeters. So what we're going to do now is a little bit of scoring. So I'll get my scoreboard out, and always starting on the 12 on the longest side whenever I give you measurements. This time it doesn't matter. So what we've got 4 scores that we're going to do. So the first one is at 1/2 inch, then 1 inch, 2 inches, and 2.5. And we're just going to keep turning that and use those same measurements and do the other 3 sides. 1/2, 1, 2, 2.5. Now if I wanted to do that in metric, it would be 1.5 centimeters, 2.5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 6.5. And also what we're going to do here, just on these 2 short sides, I'm going to add a partial score line at 3.5 inches, and we're just bringing that down to the 3rd line. Let's see if you can see that. So we've got 1, 2, 3rd score line, and then we're going to put another one down, and that is at 6.5 inches. So it's just 1 inch in from here and 1 inch in that way. So we're going to flip it over 180 degrees and do the same. So now I'm finished with the scoring, and I'm just going to take my snips, take my larger craft scissors, and we're going to take out on each of the corners. On each of the corners there is a grid, and we're going to just cut that out, and we don't need that, so we can throw that away. Okay, so this is what we have. Alright, and you can see those partial score lines there and in here. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to, let me just draw a line to show you. So we're going to go on a diagonal from that point there across and down, and we're going to cut that piece out and do that on each of these 4 here. So I'll show you what that will look like. Okay, so I'm going to continue on and do the other 3 corners. Okay, so this is the shape that you're going to have. It's going to have that cutaway in each of the short sides. So I'm going to fold and burnish all my score lines. Okay, so here is our frame, and they fold in like so. So what I'm going to do before I glue all that down, I'm going to lay a piece of DSP down on here. And I'm just going to center that. It doesn't have to be the exact size because the edges are going to be covered by our frame. So to glue it down, I'm just putting a little bit of Tombow on that side. So it's that side that we put the glue on, and it's going to wrap around. I'll bring it this way, and I'm just going to fold that under and push it flat so that when our frame comes up, when we push the side up, this piece is tucked in there. So I'm going to show you again. So rolling this piece around, this is where we're going to put our glue. And I'm just going to roll that around and push that flat. And then when we push that up, that piece is tucked underneath in there. Okay? Exactly the same for doing this one. However, you have to wiggle it a little bit to get it inside the mitre that we've created. And just push that down. So again, when it's rolled around, we're going to put our glue down there, tuck it under, and push that down. Good thing with Tombow is you only need to just hold it down for a few seconds before it takes hold. So now when we push these sides up, you can see that we've got a fairly good mitre. Now to hold these in place, I'm just going to pop a drop of hot glue in each of these corners. I think I have a love-hate affair with my hot glue gun some of the time. And just hold that in place. Okay, now the next one, so I'm going to just push that down a little. In that corner, and then just holding those, pushing those corners into each other until that glue takes hold. Now if you have any glue seeping out, that's okay. When it dries, you can just trim that off. And I think I'm just going to trim up that corner. There we go. Right, now to get the wood grain, the whitewashed wood grain effect that I've got here, that was actually a happy accident. I was going to stamp onto here as an afterthought, and of course, because that's hollow inside, I botched it up and got just a partial stamp. So I thought, well, what if I just wipe my craft ink all over? And I loved it. So I'll show you how I did that. So using my white craft ink and a little bit of sponge. Just rub that along, not giving it a even amount of coverage. We want it to be partial and deeper in colour in one section than in others. And then because with timber we go with the grain, I'm going to turn it and always go lengthwise when I'm applying my colour. So this is our frame completed. I'll take off any little glue trails. So lastly, I'll show you how I created my stand for my frame. So to create the stand for our frame, when we cut our initial piece of craft cardstock to make our frame, we have a 2 by 12 inch strip left over. So I'm going to cut this down to 7 inches. So now that that's 7 inches, that will actually be the width of our frame. So bringing back our scoreboard, we're going to score it at 3 and 4 inches. Right, so I've scored this at 3 inches and 4 inches. Now I'm just going to use my craft scissors. You could use your trimmer for this, but I'm just going to freehand that. And you're going to glue it onto the base on that 1 inch strip. So I'm going to center that there. There you are. So now that will stand up. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed that and you find that this is something that you could give a go yourself at home. I'll see you next time, where I will take you through how I made the succulents to go on to the frame. Until next time guys, stay crafty. Bye!